Fox sources say the Secret Service recently increased Donald Trump's security. Homeland Security had received intelligence on an Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. Rick Scott joins us now, the great senator from the great state of Florida, Republican. Mr. Senator, what more do we know about this Iranian plot, and why are we being told about it now?
We don't know enough. So I think it's important for the Homeland Security, for Secretary Mayorkas, for the Director of the Secret Service, for Christopher Wray, all to come out and give us more information. Because here's what's going to happen. If they don't, it's just going to be all innuendo. This is the problem with our federal law enforcement agencies. We have wonderful people that work there. Secret Service agents, FBI agents, they're wonderful. They're trying to do their job. The leadership has got to be transparent. They've got to say, this is what we know, this is what happened, and this is how somebody's going to be held accountable, because somebody messed up. There never should have been shots at the president. So we've got to find this out. They need to explain what Iran's trying to do, why this shooter was on this roof. It just doesn't make sense to Americans. When you look at that video and that the shooter was there, what, a minute and a half before the shots were fired and no one stopped him? This doesn't make any sense to Americans.
Kimberly Cheetle is the director of the Secret Service. She says it's solely her responsibility for security at that Trump rally. So should she resign or should she be fired?
She has to be, if taking responsibility sometimes means you have to say, look, I failed and I've got to leave my job. That's what happens, unfortunately. So if it was her responsibility to make sure this was done right, I don't know how she can continue to keep her job. It doesn't the American public expects accountability. In companies, we have accountability. Everybody knows that when they go to work. If they don't do their job, they lose their job. Well, the federal government doesn't do that, and that's one thing that frustrates Americans. So if she's the one who set up the security, the protocols and all this stuff, and didn't do the right, then she has to leave. If it was somebody else, they have to leave. But be transparent and tell us how this is not going to happen again. We do not want, whether it's Biden or Trump or Harris or Vance, we don't want our politicians shot at. It's not right. There
is a suspicion that that Iranian plot, which we don't know enough about, is a plot timed to shake America because there's a degree of turmoil in our domestic politics with Biden and his cognitive decline and the assassination attempt on Trump. Do you get the feeling that maybe we're now going to be tested?
Absolutely. Well, first off, Biden has been very weak. He's been very weak on, especially to take Iran. He's allowed Iran to have all the resources now to do all the bad things in the Middle East. But probably the biggest problems we've got is we've got an open southern border. Christopher Wray testified almost a year ago, that as a result of an open southern border, we now have terror cells all across the country. Okay, they're going to act at some point. And we've had, 10 million plus people have come into this country unvetted. We had 70,000 people that are not American citizens, not with special visas. We brought in from Afghanistan. We have no idea where they are. And we think nobody's going to do anything wrong. That's not realistic. So I think we all have to be on high alert. We have to assume the worst and prepare to get ready to stop this. We've got to understand there's people that want to harm us.
Indeed.
They want to harm our politicians. They want to harm our citizens.
Senator Rick Scott from Florida, thanks for joining us, sir. I know we'll see you again real soon.
Bye, Stuart.